Välkomna hit. En applåd.
Hej, hej. Jätteroligt att vara här på Internationella torget. Det är min favoritscen på hela bokmässan. Man har både lugnet, stimmet och hela närheten av detta fantastiska evenemang. Vi är här för att prata om en bok som ligger mig väldigt nära hjärtat. Den kommer finnas här till försäljning sen så ni kan kika och även få den signerad. Boken heter Jag är Gina. Erika och Gina har skrivit den här boken tillsammans. Och det är Ginas berättelse som följer henne från en barndom och uppväxt i Rumänien till ett liv som pendlar mellan Sverige och Rumänien. Och det vi ska försöka prata om här nu är deras berättelse. Gina, now the book is here, the story of your life so far. I really think it's a wonderful book, and I really appreciate the efforts you both have been doing. So, how does it feel to have your life now as a book out in the public?
I feel happy, actually, I can say. But I don't do one book, and I don't decide to do one book just because to be proud. I do it for all Roma people, because with this we can show we are not dogs, or we can say garbage. If someone help us, because we don't know the language, to speak Swedish, we can do many things, like everyone. But the book now you will show to many people in Sweden how is the life and how hard it is actually, because that is all my life, and it's something very important to try to fight. And with the fighting, to don't take nothing back, just to hope, for me something very important. And I am glad for the book, because he will show and he will feel it, everybody.
Erika, a question to you. How did you first meet Gina?
Well, it was 2 years ago now that one day I walked over to the camp where Gina lived. At that time it wasn't a big camp, it was only 20, 30 people who stayed in cars and small tents. I put it here. Thank you, Gina. Well, I walked over there and we started talking, Gina and I. And I recommend everyone to start talking to people, because people is people, it's not so much different, no? And when we got to know each other, it hit me how impossible the situation for Gina is, and how impossible the life is for her and thousands of others in her situation. For me, it was something that hit me in the stomach very hard, and it was like an emergency situation to raise awareness about this, because it's so many things that is wrong with this situation, with how these people are treated by authorities, by commune and by police and everything. So we must not forget about this. Even if other issues come on the news agenda, this is something that is extremely important. It's a big shame for all of Europe how the Roma population are living. So we cannot forget it. And that's why it came to be a book. So we hope people read it and realize how impossibly difficult and painful life can be for someone who is poor.
Gina, can you please tell us a little bit more about your background? Where were you born?
Yes, I am born in Romania, Târgu Jiu.
And your life in Romania, did you go to school?
Yes, I go just 6 years.
And when you have been living your life, and then you decided first to move to Norway, but we will not talk about Norway. Why did you decided to go to Sweden?
Actually, I don't decide. Something happened in the way to go to Norway. I am in the way to go to Norway, and the car we must to go there, he broke in Germany. And we just take the boat and we come in Sweden. And from this day, I stop here.
And you have been staying in the city of Malmö where you met Erika. And you were staying. Where did you sleep at night?
In the one parking that we find, and actually not only me. Some Roma people sleep there. Used to sleep in this parking where we make the camp. Actually, I helped to make the camp. Sorry, I'm free. Yeah, and there I sleep in 10 in the night.
And this was the camp Sorgenfri i Malmö.
Yep.
How long did the camp lasted there? How many months were you living in the Sorgenfri camp?
Actually,
Little over 2 years,
Yes.
I think.
And was it a nice place?
for us, all Roma, yes, because then we find the pace and the quiet, and not the quiet. Actually, we go to Begin and we know where we come back, where we can sleep in the night, and sure place for us. The police, he don't come so much, and because it's in the street like we are now out. Every hour police come, or he just say go. It's not camping.
So you are actually saying that the Swedish police in Malmö are harassing you at night?
Yes, he says it's not too low to sleep out in the parks, on the parking, in the car. So for us, it's impossible to rent house or to sleep in our car or to sleep out in the parks, in the tents, because actually if it's all the kind of people, I think he have a right to sleep out, but because we are Romania, we don't have the right to have nothing, never. I don't know why.
Actually, I asked the head of the police in Malmö about this. What law is the ground for waking people up and saying that it's not allowed to sleep in the car? And turns out that there is no such law. It's allowed to sleep in your car in Malmö, but still Gina and other people are wakened in the night by police or by parking guards.
Move it here.
And also the camp where you've been staying, you felt it was a quite safe place. It turned out to be quite good living conditions. But the municipality of Malmö decided to close the camp, and you were very much, both of you, involved in trying to talk with the city of Malmö. Can you please tell us a little bit about the struggle and what the city of Malmö have been doing?
Do you want to start? Yeah. All right. The city of Malmö, they wanted to evict the camp because it was too risky for people to live there, they said. And it was not a good place to stay, But they said this is not good living conditions. No human being should live in a condition like this, they said. But the alternative they had was 5 nights of emergency shelter, which is something that the city of Malmö got international criticism for, because there are European conventions that talk about how evictions like this should be handled. And one important rule is that when people are evicted, you have to provide some kind of shelter. And 5 days of emergency shelter is not sufficient. This is what, for example, Thomas Hammarberg said, who was the head of the Commission for Anti-Ziganism Commission here in Sweden. And also, UN has been worried about how Malmö Stad handled the eviction. The Council of Europe has criticized how Malmö handled it. But mysteriously, this criticism has just flew by, and now it's forgotten about, I'm afraid.
But you, Gina, you decided to start to talk with the city of Malmö and trying to have an ongoing discussion to demand different kinds of things. Can you please tell us a little bit about this struggle?
Yes, I trying to give us a lot of ideas and actually not ideas, just to implore him and say to him to don't lift us out because it's winter cold and we will die. And if you will trying to just forget us, we will don't go back to Romania because we can't. We can't leave home. Then he say, we can't, it's not our decision, sorry. It's somebody up, somebody bigger than us. And the decision come from him. And I say, okay, we are better than dogs actually. If we are dogs, actually we have good life. And the big man, or who is, I don't know him, he take us and he give us a lot of good stuff, and we can sleep in. She can speak. She just.
And this is, I would say, this is just one story from today's Sweden. How the different municipalities of Sweden are dealing with migrants, especially Roma migrants living here in Sweden from Romania and Bulgaria. And it's some kind of ongoing talking situation, but mostly a lot of mistreatment. But go back to the book a little bit. This is a book about your life, your struggles both here in Sweden and in Romania. So next, you have left your family, your children in Romania, and you are living without your children. Can you please tell us a little bit why you have made that kind of terrible choice?
Actually, I do it, and I am here in Sweden from 2 years and 2 months, we can say. I go home and I stay 3 months and I come back. But I am here just to give good life. It's not good life, but to survive and to pay the school and to have everything in the school and to be like all children, my children, I must to be here because my home is not a normal house. He will go down, I think, soon. I trying to fix a little and little, but what I fix, he go down again. So I am here just to give surprise days for my children. I am not here to come to be rich or because I can be rich. And actually, I don't want to be rich. I want to be like any kind of people, like all people. If I am Roma, I don't think we do something bad. And if we begging, I don't think it's crime. We don't make obligation to give us. So I am here to work actually, but for me it's impossible because I don't speak Swedish. But if I would speak Swedish, I think same it will be because I am Roma. And I am not ashamed what I am. The God left me to be Roma, so who don't like us. It's shame. It's shame for him because we like Swedish, we like Norway, we like any kind of people because we are the same.
I have something to say also, that I hope that when you read the book, that you start thinking about the message that we hear from politicians here in Sweden. They say the problem for the Roma population must be solved in the home countries, in Bulgaria and Romania, for example. But the situation is very, very far from a solution in those countries. Some statistics say that 80% of the Roma population in Bulgaria and in Romania live in poverty. When I tested this thesis from Swedish politicians on a Roma expert at the Soros Foundation in Bucharest, she started to laugh, actually. And she said, well, Erika, Sweden can help these people much better in Sweden than in Romania, because in Romania, anti-Tsiganism is so deep. So she said, tell Swedish politicians to integrate the Roma into the labor market, help them with housing. That's the easiest solution.
And but you have been doing some work here, different kinds of work. You have been begging. You have been working as some kind of. What has been your favorite job here in Sweden?
Actually, I am not. I don't prefer nothing. I just. I know to clean. I am like. I love to clean. This is my work in my heart, because with this I know I will do it normal, and people will be glad, happy. You will say, okay, it's very nice, my house. So, yeah.
But if you would, the city of Malmö, what kind of solution would you like for the housing? What do you think, is there some kind of, what do you want for kind of housing solution?
Solution for house? Actually, I don't know the solution, but the commune have the solution. The politicians will have the solution, because he have a lot of places empty and make construction, and or many places they are empty, and actually he can use it to give us the poor people, the not only Roma people, Romanian people, Swedish homeless people who sleep out, because actually I see a lot of people sleep out, not only us. So there are a lot of solutions. But actually the problem is don't want to give us any solution. So for me it's...
We just have 1 minute left of this conversation. Gina and Erika will be here, so if you have questions to them, please come and ask them. I would also very, very much advise you to read this book, because this is one of the most interesting stories about today's Europe. I would say the advantage of free movement, and the idea of that we as Europeans, fellow Europeans, have free movement. And that is, I would say, one of the basic ideas. Some last words from you, Erika?
Wow. Please read the book, and please be aware that there are alternative ways to handle a situation, like, for example, in Malmö, the Sorgenfri camp. Other communes in Sweden have found, for example, a camping spot or a parking place that is not used, and they offer people to put their caravans and their cars there. But in Malmö, this was not something that the local politicians wanted to discuss at all. So we must bear in mind that there are always alternative ways to do things. You can be repressive or you can be progressive in this matter.
Thank you. It has been an honor having you here, Gina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Erika. Thank you, Gina.